All right, we're back. Episode
Yeah.
54 of the Lookout Podcast. I am
Hey,
Meelz. I'm here with the Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff.
what's up, buddy?
Um, our hands are clean.
Yes, sir.
Uh, right
All the
before,
time. All the time.
all the time
Do
in this
not touch your face.
situation. Shit, I just did, but I just washed my hands. Like, I legitimately just washed my hands.
It's
Like,
tough, man. It's tough, buddy. For real.
if I'm you know what? Stop, because I'm about to go off on a tangent, and I do not want to bury the lead. First things that I want to say within the
Yeah,
first, we're like 30 seconds in, whatever. First of all, happy anniversary to us. It makes
absolutely.
2 years
So cool.
this week of the Lookout Podcast. So thank
That's
you to
big
everyone
time,
who's been
man.
tuning in from the Dragon Ball days and
Mhm.
then, our new experiences with other new animes. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in thus far. We want to say, to thank everyone who's tuned in thus far because we do have a lot of great fans and, um, we've moved and we're trying this, kind of this rebranding thing, and we're
Yeah.
trying this new experience thing where we kind of create our own kind of anime network created by, creatives like us, people of color like us, all this other stuff like us. But we want to continue to give back to you guys because,
Absolutely.
just like last month with the Pokemon Week, where we gave away a bunch of cool stuff and people were very responsive to that and showed us a lot of love. We want to continue with to continue to give away things. And I think this week it's going to be very, very cool because we're going to be giving away two sets of things. One is just we have a new set of stickers, a bunch of new
Yes.
stickers,
Yes. They're
similar to
beautiful.
last year,
They're beautiful.
what we did on our 1 year where we did the Lookout Scouter ones, which I might still have a few in my desk. So if anyone is lucky, maybe like
Maybe you'll get an extra one in your package.
yeah, maybe like the first five that don't recognize as the ones from last year, or if you like lost one or something, I can give because I still have like a couple more. But we have new Lookout stickers. We have two new Lookout stickers designed by the man, Crystal Face Guy. You can
Yeah.
follow him on Twitter at Crystal Face Guy.
It's
He's a
amazing.
great artist. We have two stickers in terms of one that is a um, the mask, the warding mask, one that is Tanjiro.
Yeah. Yep.
Very timely because, of course, we're talking about Demon Slayer. And then one is a warding mask that is exclusively our own, one that's been
Yeah.
created by him.
I need a 3D print.
Me too.
Once
Ooh.
everybody sees this lookout edition warding mask, I need a 3D print for all of us because it's amazing. And shout out to artists, like it's so good. I'm obsessed with it personally. So uh,
Shout out to him. You
for
can,
real.
first of all, I want to, because I know he has merch as well. He's just a great art style. It's just so vibrant. It's
Mhm.
so, it's so just lovely. I love the heavy outlined lines. I love the vibrant colors. I love just the carefreeness of it all. He has merch that's also available at crystalfaceguy.com. So you can check there. He has more work. He's open for things, but we're going to be giving out these stickers as well. I already did the
Mhm.
form. It's going to be similar to last year. If you want the stickers, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll send you the form. You can fill it out and we will send it to you. Second thing that we're giving away this week. I feel like Jeff should. I'm trying to figure out how many volumes that we are we
I
doing for this.
I believe it's 11.
Okay.
I think. But yes, we will be giving away uh, all the volumes so far that have been printed for Demon Slayer manga.
All 11 volumes
Yes,
we're
sir.
giving away to one person. We're not giving away 11 to 11 people.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't we don't like that.
No, yeah. But it's cool. You'll be
Absorb
all
it
caught
so.
up. So if you're
Yeah.
really into the anime and you want to go to the manga side, maybe you're listening to Big Eyes, whatever it may be, you'll have every volume up to date so far in your collection, so you can read up to date. And I definitely suggest you read them as well if you watch the show. There are some differences, but it's amazing. So yeah, I think it's a great way to show our appreciation.
So that is what we've got. These are two big announcements. So we're giving away stickers this week. We're giving away the first 11 volumes
Hey.
of Demon Slayer, all in English, all
Mhm.
crisp, all
Very.
platinum Chanel certified.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They're
just
not.
spray a hint of something on it. Just a little perfect little.
Right.
Just
Yeah. If you
ooh.
smell Platinum Chanel on them, just know
Just know there's platinum
it's
Chanel boy certified.
right.
With that said, beyond that, I mean, what an anniversary week. We're all kind of reeling. I think the entire world is reeling from the spread of the coronavirus.
Hmm.
Um, I'm particularly wondering how it's going to affect anime because it seems to have affected everything else from
Yeah.
movies to stores to just the way we all live to shows to everything. Everything.
AKA Super has been pushed back another year.
Oh,
Like at this point, who knows, man? Who knows? Like it's crazy out here. I mean, I know both of us, we live in, you know, two big cities. You in
hmm
the big city, and I'm in
of
Atlanta.
course.
But like, yeah, it's hectic here. I know it's hectic there. So who knows what it is in like, Japan and those cities responsible for these great things that we enjoy so much. So I don't know, man.
All I think gatherings of 500 or over. I
Yeah.
think at this point in any city are have been canceled. So if you have a
Yep.
con that you're coming up, it's probably going to be canceled, especially if it's in the next 3 months or so. I mean, basketball has been canceled. Have you guys decided what you guys are?
I mean, we have one more episode we're gonna do this week, and then me and Mark will probably discuss what we may do. Maybe we'll just hop on IG live every now and then and have some fun,
Yeah. Well,
play some
listen.
2K. We'll figure something out. There's still some NFL news popping off and some little things that maybe we can get on, but who knows, man? At this point, I'm not sure. Soccer's gone as well right now too, so it's like the world is shut down, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, the entire world is shut down by this the spread of this virus. Who would have thought, right? Like,
We have
I'm
podcasts
still
though.
This is true. We have podcasts. I mean, that's the one, I guess, resource that will never die as long as I can do this from here and you can do that from there. And we don't
Yeah.
actually need to leave our house to be able to have this conversation.
Yep.
But so many things. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how it's going to work. I'm pretty sure if all upcoming seasons that are being developed for anything has been pushed back. I have a feeling, to my dismay, those Pokemon titles may be pushed back,
Mm-hmm.
which would be I would be very, very sad.
I
Uh,
know.
but it's the reality of it all.
It just
It's
is what
like
it is.
people,
Even
yeah,
the Demon Slayer movie. I mean,
yeah.
we may see that pushback as well. So yeah, no, I mean it's just something that we have to deal with as a society at this very moment.
I mean, from here on out, everyone's kind of been either you're self quarantined or you're working from home or something along those lines. And I think everyone has been trying to grab some anime to binge or something to binge. I mean,
Yeah, we here.
yeah, I mean, we here.
As
I'm
well.
still watching Yu
You
Yu
on your
Hakusho.
you, I see. Yeah, you
Um,
got through that tournament. I see.
I got through the tournament.
We're gonna talk about that later.
I'm up to the part where Kurogiri, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
He's fighting that white tiger guy.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's where I'm at. Just kind of update. Further update. You know what? Let me text Justin right now
I'm about to say
because
I'm about to dive into My Hero this week.
I mean, you might as well. He's been having a lot of fun with this. Let me
Yeah,
actually
I
see.
saw that. I saw he tweeted something saying, which I had. It's crazy. It's one of those things you read 2 or 3 times because you're like trying to find the mistake in it.
hmm
And he was like, he's cried a bunch of times.
I've
Did you see
almost
that
cried
tweet?
watching My Hero.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not. Yes, of course, but I'm surprised that him.
Yes, no, I'm very surprised.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
trying
like,
to see if I can contact him now.
what the fuck is going on, Justin?
Maybe we can grab him for 5 minutes or something along those lines to talk a little bit about his new love for My Hero. And he also got caught up in Demon Slayer as well. And we were talking about actually a lot of the things that we're going to talk about on this episode. So we're going through the entire Mount Natagumo arc on this episode of the show, which is quite honestly the peak, the pinnacle, everything sort of relating to Demon Slayer has, I guess, one of the finest moments that brings the entire thing together. But with that said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about on this episode. Once again,
Yeah.
we have 2 giveaways this week. One is stickers. You can just sign up for that. It's free. We're going to send it to you. No charge, just free. And then the other is a contest. Seemingly, we'll have it on social media, so make sure you follow the Lookout RNC. Make sure you follow RNC Radio Live. Just those 2 accounts. Make sure you follow me at Meelz TV. Make sure you follow Jeff at Old Newsboy. Make sure you follow Jamal at Jamal SLM. And you will pretty much be in tune and understand how you can win this full run, the full 11 copies, brand new, fresh out the box,
Fresh.
platinum Chanel scented.
Get yourself up
minted.
to date now. Get it up to date now so you can keep up with them as they come out.
Right. So we'll have that. We'll be giving away that this week as well, and just experience 2 years of the lookout. Thank you guys all for tuning in
Yeah, man,
for
for
two
real.
years of the lookout through Dragon Ball and all this other stuff, and we'll have
Thank you
other
for
fun stuff.
having me. Thank you
Oh
for
yeah.
having me, Meelz, in my
Well,
madness.
this is true. Well,
This is
thank you
true.
for accepting episode 5 after I was worried for
Yeah.
so long
I remember.
about. I was just like, I don't know how long this is gonna work out before I have to start talking about Dragon Ball
I was
myself.
like, yeah, I'll be honored. What the fuck? Of course.
And so, thank you for that, my friend.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Be
into
here.
the episode, and we'll get in, talk about Demon Slayer right up next.
Got my water. Spurs won today. I didn't know your voice would get that high.
Oh, my voice can get pretty high.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's pretty high. Yeah, dude. I was a
Yeah.
little surprised right now.
I've been working on my falsetto for maybe like a decade and a half. Since whatever
You
music
say
soul child did the
falsetto.
love
You say
video.
falsetto,
Yeah,
real New York like.
really.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
that was very New York. A very New York way to say falsetto.
I've been working on it for a pretty long time. So, and you never know. You never know. We might have some anime karaoke at some point in the future, and I'll be forced to do this, and maybe I'll surprise people.
I may sing the entire Hunter x Hunter intro in Japanese one of these days.
I don't know. Do I know a theme in Japanese? God.
Hunter x Hunter is maybe the only one that I've seen so many times that I can kind of I can do a good bit of it, but
I might be able to do like one of the seasons of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like maybe like it was either Diamond and Pearl or something. I don't know. It was one of them, but I don't know if I can do a full theme. Huh. Never thought about
tough,
it. But
man.
the Demon Slayer theme is a good theme because that
shit should be on Billboard. I don't know what the fuck happening.
That one is rocking.
Billboard, baby.
Episode 54 of the Lookout Podcast.
What's up, buddy?
We're back. We're here. Listen.
How are you?
What's up? We got a lot to talk about.
Let's go. Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about today.
We have all right, so last episode we did a couple episodes. This one is probably the most episodes that we've done thus far, in terms of summarizing it all, and rightfully so, because it's an entire
most
arc,
definitely,
and it deserves that many episodes.
It's a must.
You know what? If they made a Kai version of this series, I'm sure they would cut out a lot of the backstory. But even though everything
you need it though, right?
Yeah.
Some of that Kai stuff that got cut is so unneeded. They did the right thing with Kai, but I don't think this would need that.
Yeah, no, it's the emotional depth of this entire thing. All these things come into play in this arc. It is the Mount Natagumo arc. Episodes, I want to say 9, no, not 19. Episodes 15 through 21.
Big episodes. Huge episodes.
Lots of episodes. So last time we got caught up, Tanjiro made 2 new friends, Inosuke and Zenitsu. And now they're like their little Pokemon traveling group of
right. There has to be friends along the journey,
Listen, it's not even about the journey, it's about the friends you made along the way. Right. Which is really what this is all about, and what anime is all about, and all the other things it's all about. But with that said, we have to talk about this arc, because I mean, at this point, it's an award-winning arc. It's an award-winning arc. This arc, according to the Anime Awards that aired a few weeks ago, this arc, best fight at the Anime Awards, the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. You heard us probably talk about it a couple of weeks back, but best fight, Rui versus Tanjiro in this Mount Natagumo arc. And what are your overall thoughts about this? This is Mount Natagumo arc, spider demons, all this other stuff. What are your general thoughts about this?
First of all, nobody depicts spiders being evil better than the Japanese. I just want to say that first. Because I mean, it's flawless, right? Like spiders are just they have to be frowned upon so much in Japan.
Right.
The arc to me is, I think
First,
if
going back, I don't, in terms of the
oh no, you're
spider
fine.
thing,
Yeah.
being able to take the threads, and normally like in a, I guess we would say in typical conventional way how they depict
Hmm.
spiders, you're like attached to this thread and you
Yeah.
can't leave. But
Yeah.
instead, they decide to make these threads lethal. They'll cut your skin, they'll cut your
Yeah.
head off,
Which
they'll cut
let
you
me
in
tell you,
pieces.
I love that because when I was younger, I had done. I like spiders. My dad had a tarantula growing up, so spider's web is one of the strongest substances in the world,
Hmm.
right? So it only makes sense in this state where you have these demons who also use spider-like, things to maneuver, and it's extremely strong and extremely lethal as you watch. So it makes a lot of sense. I think they did it really well. I think every series needs a pair of episodes like this to make it, and they just did it so well. Not the series is very good even without these episodes, to be honest with you, but
Hmm.
this just fills it in really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of these episodes, especially when it's in the context of season one of Demon Slayer, it's really the height. It's really the sort of, and without it being, and it's weird because you have this period where you actually see Muzan, who is the true villain, the villain
Mm-hmm.
of all villains. He is the
Yeah.
ultimate bad guy, and they managed to get that, you know, a little bit in, but they also, this is like the true height. This is the most danger they've ever been in. This is the kind of culmination of your friends meeting all
Yeah.
the other fellow demon slayers that were part of your final selection. The bond between Nezuko and Tanjiro.
Mm-hmm.
The coming across one of the 12 Kazuki, like coming sort of the entire combination of everything that he's learned thus far in his training and everything that moves forward, and even the history of like his own family that comes into
Yeah.
play. That
Yeah. Maybe the highest stakes, so far in the series, or in this season, is these stretch of episodes.
this could have been a movie, man. This
Yeah,
really
no,
could have been a movie.
yeah, it could have been, and I would have lost it for sure. Yeah, I mean, if we got this in a movie form, hour and a half, yeah. I mean, but honestly, visually, it looks like a movie still. So
Yeah, it's an amazing piece of work, and it's just, you know we talk about it all the time, but the visual effects and the story and the music and the production of this entire arc itself, it's not even just, that these episodes are good and we're going to fall in love with the character, but the production and everything that goes into it, the direction of it, the art direction, everything that's pieced together makes this entire, make this entire arc really, really good and really,
yeah,
really like, wow, like just the overall
this is
value
gonna work.
of
Yeah, this is
everything
gonna
that they
work.
put in here. Yeah, this is, to me, this is an all timer, and especially in recent anime, and I think a lot of fans agree with, because there's a strong Demon Slayer presence on the internet and everywhere else,
Yeah,
especially if the people, because I think genuinely you fall in love with it. If you love anime, you kind of fall in love with the story. It starts off a little bit. I wouldn't even say it starts off slow, because I've seen animes that take like 20 episodes before they really kick into
yeah.
gear. Um, but this just, just
Anime of the
reaching
year.
to this point. Yeah,
Anime of the year.
this reaching to this point is so fulfilling, and yes, worthy of anime of the year.
Very, very.
Let's see. Let's talk about, as we're rolling into this, Rui. Rui and the Spider Demon family. He is the main protag. Is it no antagonist? Oh,
Antagonist. Yeah.
I always got that mixed up,
I
even
no,
since like
bro.
fourth
We are
grade.
like, bro. I've been getting it mixed up since we started the series. Like we started the lookout. Like,
Yo, prefixes are so important. Um, but he is the main antagonist from this arc. Um, what do we think of Rui at this point? I
well,
mean,
you
what
you
is
know me,
his
man. He's
story?
definitely my type of. He's my type
You
of
like
bad
his
guy.
look?
I do. I do. I think it's sweet. Like his hair is like this. His hair is kind of shaped like a giant spider if you look at him from behind, which is
Hmm.
kind of cool. It kind of
I
cuffs around
hate
his
his hair. I
face.
don't know. This is
It,
part
it
of me
cuffs
that
it
like
cuffs
hates
around
it.
its face.
Mm-hmm.
I like the visual, the face, the red dots, and which they kind of show later how that's put on. But he's an asshole. He yeah, he's very like power dominant, you know, doesn't really
He's
fear anything.
he puts the Rue in ruthless. Like
Yes.
he is 100% a just no remorse,
Yeah.
no, just doesn't take anything, kind of will punish you for anything that goes wrong.
Hmm.
And it's weird because he is the son, but he is the overall patriarch of this spider family that he's put
Right.
together. Um, in terms of just his story, because I don't know how much we'll get into. I mean, we'll get into his story, of course, but I don't want to necessarily like. I think we should get like kind of like fully, kind of go into him at this point. But his story in terms of how he becomes a demon, um, similar to other stories of how people become a demon.
Yeah.
I mean, they really decide to
Isn't
tug
it?
at your heartstrings when they do this
They
entire ordeal.
they do. You know, it's one of those things where they make them into these like these demons, and you know they're very awful like creatures, but they also have these specific traits that you can tell that they carried on, you know,
Mm-hmm.
after they turned. So,
Mm-hmm.
like in this situation, his yearning for this weird family, or
Right.
his idea of a family, it's screwed up as a demon, but it's still family, you know,
Right. It comes
and
from
it comes
his
from,
human
yeah,
part.
exactly, exactly.
Where the wanting for a bond or the strength of a bond or something like that. It tells that he said he was once told a story of, a father who went to save his son and then died, save his son from like drowning in a river while the father
Yeah.
died. And he wanted a bond as strong as that.
Hmm.
And, he felt like maybe in retrospect, and a lot of this, I think also a lot of this, whether it comes to the evil part of him and also the 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 yearning part of him comes because he is so young and he is essentially a child. Like
Right.
I think when you look at him, I probably compare him in terms of just the ruthlessness at all to like Kid Buu, right? Like
Yeah.
someone who didn't even grow up enough to learn any type of like chill at all.
No,
Like
yeah,
he's just
that's very, he has no true logic.
yeah,
It's just what he thinks is what is right, and that's it, you know. But
right.
like you said, he doesn't have much experience on in anything else, you know, and that's his life.
And even as a kid, he doesn't even know, he hasn't even really developed the idea of what a true bond is because I mean, he pretty much, the story of how his spider demon family goes is he pretty much takes like what, like seven strangers,
Yeah,
makes them into
random
spider demons.
travelers.
Like,
Yeah.
you're the mother, you're the sister, you're the dad, you're my brother, you're this. And they're just seven strangers. Like, they have no actual bond with one another. There's no blood bond. There's no story that
It's
goes
just
kind of
forcing
behind
family.
this.
He's
Yeah,
forcing a
he's trying to
family.
force it to sort of feel that sort of bond that he wants to feel, that he's been yearning for. And a lot of that goes back to his past, where, before he turned into a demon, he was this very sick and, sick kid, couldn't even go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and his family wanted to take care of him, but he was like kind of like bedridden. Muzan comes in and is like, yo, you trying to live forever?
Which is like, yo,
Like,
I mean, think about it, bro. Like, if you get that question asked to you from somebody who can literally, you know, set you free,
mhm.
and I think that's always important when you like when you, we talk about these type of things, because obviously we're in a fantasy world, but it makes a lot of sense to accept, you know, such a thing. And I mean, shit, man. Hey, if it takes
I'm
away those type of pain, I mean, what would you do?
I mean, I'm
I'm
wondering
pretty
how
sure
he
I would
kind of
accept.
I'm wondering how that's
I'm
funny.
pretty sure I would accept.
I'm wondering how he finds these certain people because they seem to all have traits where um
Tragic
they're
traits.
like not even so much tragic, but well, yes, tragic traits that he's able to take advantage of, but
Right, right.
also um like there's obviously he finds them specifically at whatever points in their life where they seem to be going through something. I don't know if he can smell that. I don't know if he can taste it.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of
he rather
breathing thing that
has
he has.
eyes everywhere or some shit,
Yeah,
man. Like,
because it's the same as, Tamayo, right? Tamayo tells a story that she was on her sick bed, and
Mm-hmm.
he came to her the same way and was like, "Hey,
No, that's a really good
would
point,
you
man.
rather die of this, or you want to live forever?" And she's like, "Yo, I don't know yet." And he's like, "Demon."
No,
Um,
that's a really good point. I mean, is he looking for weak people with like strong ambitions to do other things?
mm,
You know what I mean? Because usually, if I mean, to an extent, he's preying on the weak, but you know, I'm just a lot of weak people have ambitions of being what not weak, being strong,
right.
being able to do things. So in his mind, he may think, hey, if I give this person ultimate power, all of that thought process that's been sitting with them, um, you know, because he has to know that some of that shit, as far as being a human at one point and now being a
Mm-hmm.
demon, it stays. He has to know, right? I mean, it has to be something that because he wouldn't have put that spell or whatever it is to not say his name if he didn't know that there was a weakness in demons.
Right. Right.
You
No, you're
know?
right. You're right. Or even a strength. Maybe at some point they all come up against him or something along those lines. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're right. You're right. These are people who are kind of weak at this weak, turning point, this fork in their life, but possess these strong ambitions to do things. The strong ambition to become a great writer, or a strong ambition to, become a doctor, make medicine, or strong ambition to, the bonds of family or something
Mm-hmm.
along those lines, or be able to just, live a normal life. Like, he really takes advantage of these people, and Rui is a major, just product of that. And, just in terms of him creating this entire family, it's scary, it's wild, it's
Yeah. It's very creepy, I think.
it's creepy.
Yeah.
I think it's more creepy than anything, because it's
Yeah.
like you really just found it. It shows me so much things of just like, yo, he doesn't know what it really is, and he's still
Mm-hmm.
searching for it. And maybe if he had more time to become an adult, even though it looked like his life wasn't going to be that long, maybe if he had more time, then he'd be able to experience these various things. Maybe he'd come in contact with someone who can show him what a bond is or something.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
instead, he kind of lives his life. He's kind of one of one, this kind of demon, and he's just searching for. And Muzan, by all means, he was like, yo, do your thing, man. Like, use your blood. Like, don't, it's cool with me. Like, if you make more people, if you want to create this family, do that. Because I think
Which
at the
is
end of the
also
day,
psychotic.
it's super psychotic. It's like
It's wild.
the story of how he kills his family is
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah,
family,
it's
he becomes a demon. The family finds out that he's killing people and eating them. He's like, whoa, that's kind of wild. Um, and then the father tries to kill him in his sleep. Um, he sees that self-defense. He kills both the father and the mother, and kind of regrets it once he hears the mother's last words, and he kind of begins to remember the father's last words as well,
mm,
which was like, essentially, I'm going to kill you, but I'm also going to kill myself to repent for all the sins of me having to kill you.
right.
Um, and that's a bond that he's like, yo, we're going to be, essentially, it's the bond of like, we're going to be together forever.
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
pops up again when he's killed, and it's just the beautiful just moment of just
Mm.
like, um he's dead, and he's just like, yo, I won't be where you guys are at. I'm going to hell for like killing
Yeah,
all these
like
people.
exactly.
And his family is like, be riding with you.
Right, which
Like,
is it's a sweet thing. Like they like again, they pull our strings like you said every time one of these things die. But
mhm,
it's a sweet moment, but it's I guess they're trying to close a chapter on the individual itself. They're always trying
mhm.
to give us a, you know, I don't want to say like a breather, like we can exhale after, but it's just more of like a
No, it's closure. It's
it's
closure.
closure. Yeah, it's just
That
even
these
though
people aren't
I don't
evil
feel
for the
bad
sake
for
of
him,
being
but
evil.
yeah, I don't really feel
Yeah.
bad for the guy, but like still.
Yeah, these people aren't evil for the sake of being evil, and you get to, even though they're villains, at the same point, there's a human quality about them, because they were all humans before they became demons. Um,
It's a really strange thing for me because I, for one, when I watch anime, I get attached fairly easy, and this is one of the first situations where you know they give you a handful of historic bad guys, you know, what you would call a bad guy or a villain, and they make you
Hmm.
care for them in some way every time. You know, whether it's the way that they died or them crying afterwards or remembering their past. And it's just, I mean, I think it's an interesting tactic in writing a story. Because yeah, you may get attached to a villain because he's cool and he's a bad guy, like, you know, in Dragon Ball a lot. You know, we like Cell, we like Frieza, whatever. But in these cases, like, you don't really have a real reason to care for these people. They just give
Yeah.
you this deep ass sad
The human
story.
connection. Ultimately, it's
Yes,
the human connection
yes,
that connects us all together. At the end of the day, just speaking in general, I mean, you go through these fights and you get it's one by one. It's like these things that these human qualities and stuff like that that are tugging at your heartstrings. And probably the first one is the Mother Demon versus Inosuke and Tanjiro. Um, I mean, I think all these villains are scary in their own right, and they're all like frightening to me. The
yeah.
probably the most I'd say probably the most frightening one was probably the Spider Brother.
The
Um,
Spider Brother was the one I liked the most, but I did not like the dad.
the dad, he
From a
was
visual
like
standpoint, I mean, I didn't like the way he was designed.
just brolic strong for the
And
sake of
yeah, Spider Face. I don't know,
muscle
man.
body.
Yeah, it was just
Um,
strange to me. Yeah.
I love the ending to the Mother Demon versus Inosuke and Tanjiro. I thought, first of all, I thought the threads thing and using either dead people or alive people as puppets, I was
Yeah,
like, whoa, that is sick
it's
and
fucked
also
up.
cool. Yeah, no, it was cool. The
We
messed
say
up
that's a
part was
lot.
where you just decided like, yo, I'm out, and she like breaks everyone's necks and arms
Yeah,
and stuff. I was like, yo, that is sick and
yeah, that's
also wild and also
yes,
cool and also
yes.
a thing, but like he
They do this a lot. They do this a lot. They really do.
like it's really like I feel bad for the soldiers because they're like, yo, I have no control, just kill me. Like she's already broken my arms, my like ribs are puncturing my lungs, like my entire body is
They're
broken
literally
at this
begging for
point.
them, begging for their life. Like, just take me out. I don't want
Yeah,
to do
just
this
take
no
me out.
more.
Don't even try to save me. And they come up with a concept to try to save these things, but ultimately they're not able to save them. But I love just the moment where Tanjiro. I mean, first of all, the Tanjiro and Inosuke kind of connection and Inosuke's, what was it called? Breathing technique, concentrated
Yeah,
breathing technique, where he
concentration
able to
breathing.
sense people through the ground.
Hmm.
I was like, yo,
That's dope. Yeah,
tough. Finally,
yeah.
you have something that you can contribute that that is
That's
somewhat,
not just like you being loud and
yeah.
obnoxious.
And I was like, oh wow, he really has this like sonar thing. And I think I mean it looks like they all the sort of the people who survive the final selection have some sort of like sense, like either breathing, hearing, touching, smelling,
Hmm.
seeing, something along those lines where they have one of those that they seem to be very skilled in. And Tanjiro's is the smell, and he'll smell it even though he couldn't really smell it because of all the other wafts of shit in the air, I guess. Um, but Inosuke finds it, his breathing style, he able to find it. Tanjiro pops up in the air and he's about to come down. He's like, yo, I'm about to murk her. And then she is going through her own little inner turmoil where she's like, yo, but if he kills me, like, I can be free. I can be
Yeah,
free from Rui trying to like slice my face off at every
yeah.
second or just like badgering me
What
or
a crazy, you know, just like thought process that they're in. Like, even though they are, you know, they're demons. They're, you know, they're not good people, but like they still have this whole imagination of what the fuck they're actually going through, and
mm-hmm,
thinking about, maybe I should just let this shit happen to me because this is just not fun anymore.
right. Um, blessed rain after the drought.
Mm.
The It was by far the moment I
Man,
saw it, I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've
this
ever
is
seen in
it.
my
Yeah,
life.
he's like, this is it.
The first of all, the light cut through the neck,
Hmm.
the slow motion, the rain, the sunlight, all these other things, and I'm just like, yo, not sunlight, moonlight, but even though it's kind of sunny, um, I was just like, yo, what is this? What is this anime? Like, I'm
At that point, you
legitimately
already
watching
knew,
this.
man. You knew what was
But
going on, man. They just took
you
shit to a whole
know,
nother level in like this span of episodes.
yeah. And I'm just like in my mind, I'm just like, yo, bless. First of all, the name itself, "Bless Rain After the Drought." I
Bless
was just like,
rain
what?
after the drought.
I was like, what? What? It's my favorite move.
this
It's my
man,
favorite
Meelz
move.
is like, this is it right here. Like,
Yeah, no, to me, that was the moment. Legitimately, this was the moment. Like, not even the Zenitsu thing that came beforehand, which I thought was
mhm.
really cool as well.
Oh
But
yeah, it
this
was
was the
super sick.
moment where it was like mercy, but in a beautiful way. But
Hmm.
like, it was also like killing people, but it was like beautiful in a
Yes,
certain type of way to
yes.
be able to pull that off. And the way it was animated and the little droplets and the way her story was kind of told as her head is like slowly falling to the ground and shit.
Yeah.
And her hair is just like, the bottom part of her hair is just like floating to the ground and all this
Hmm.
other stuff. And she's just like, this is it.
It's
Yeah.
like
And
he gives him a peaceful, almost. I don't know. It's like a peaceful death.
mhm.
Even the name itself, kind of pushes
Which is what
that.
he's about.
Right, right. I mean, that's
He's one of the only few people who are able to distinguish kind of like this human aspect and this mercy. And maybe it is because of Nezuko, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Maybe it is because he has a sister that's a demon and he understands the kind of like that there's a gray area in between all of this because, when we see Gyu later, he doesn't understand any of that shit at all.
Well, I think it
Um,
is Tanjiro's one. I think it's one of his weaknesses for sure, as well as like. I
mhm.
mean, it's a good thing because he's learned a lot from it, but I think it's also one of his biggest weaknesses.
Right, right. No, you're right. Um, so she's gone. I was like, that was incredible. I wanted
Yeah,
to clap, and I was looking for
you
other
were
people around to clap with
standing
me.
up, like let's
Uh,
come on, guys, this is amazing.
just it's just cry. But you know what? That wasn't even the best part of this entire arc. This is why this
No,
show is so
yeah,
fucking amazing because it just wasn't. We get two other battles that we've mentioned before. First of all, Zenitsu with the older brother spider demon,
hmm,
who is a legit spider, whose blood demon art is to turn other people into spiders,
yeah,
and you get Zenitsu's backstory of him, learning to become the sort of, learning from the previous Thunder Pillar,
yeah,
um, who was his grandfather, um, and like just learning that one move, and obviously not being able to expertly apply any of the other forms, but it was like, yo, you got this one move, you better make that your move, man.
hmm.
You better, that's the move. Like,
That's the one. At
so you
least
have
if you can't do nothing, know how to do this.
right. Thunderclap Flash, as we talked about last episode. Shout out to Elephant Man.
Oh
Um,
my god, another elephant man! I can't believe this. I can't believe this, man.
um, he can only use one move. It's the Thunderclap Flash. He murks a spider demon, but he's already infected with the poison, which to me was like sick. Um,
Yeah, his whole trying to stay alive scenes are very, very good. I mean, him
yeah,
looking
I
up
agree.
at looking up into the sky, lowering his breathing, trying to man. I mean, that was really good.
To stop it from really spreading quickly. And then, one of the other pillars, I think the butterfly pillar,
Yeah,
Shinobu, who this is the first time that we see in this. Well, actually, not this episode isn't the first time that we see it. She appears in a
she gets a lot of
previous.
dialogue though
Yeah, but
in
she
this episode.
appears and she's just like, she's calm. She's like, hey, everything okay? And he's just like,
She's very optimistic, even considering someone's death.
but also like
Um,
sadistic. She's kind of insane. She's kind of
no, no, no,
insane.
most definitely. I think they all are to some extent, the pillars, but like it's one of those things where you hear her speak and you're like, all right, she's very polite, but then like she's also telling you how she's gonna kill you in a very sweet,
Hmm.
polite way, and you're like,
Right.
okay, I guess this is fine.
She's insane. Like I was just
But
like,
is she
well,
not
but she's
cool though?
also sadistic.
Is she not cool?
She's cool.
She's
Um,
very cool.
inflicted with poison, she cures him. She's able to create some sort of serum, offer it just off the top of her head. She's like, whoa, okay. You see his baby arm, like, ugh.
Yeah,
That
this
becomes
man's
a
whole
thing,
body
and
was shrinking.
yeah, his hair was falling out. I think that was the time where he was just like, yo, I really got to think. His hair was falling out. Like, and then there's at some point after the entire battle and all these things, you see the other warriors who are infected as well, and they've like lost all their hair. Some of them have already shrunk. Some of them like it's crazy. Like to me, I was like, wow,
So them
this
being
is
turned into spiders, they're not turning into demons. They're just being turned into spiders. Yes or no?
I don't know.
Because that was something I wanted to ask you. I wasn't sure if like, I mean,
Hmm.
I don't believe that.
I feel
I
like
don't
they'll
know.
just turn into
Like,
spiders. Yeah,
right. Like they're just turning into spiders, and that's it. Not actual demons.
yeah, that's what I think. I'm gonna go off of that they're not turning into actual demons, but who knows? I hope not. Um,
I assume so.
we get a brief little Inosuke versus and Tanjiro versus the father demon. Tanjiro gets sent flying immediately,
Yeah,
like
yeah. He
like
wasn't fucking
out of
with this
here.
guy at all.
Nah, he was like, yo, but Tanjiro really got sent to like another neighborhood. Like he got roofed like a pair of uptowns. Like
Yeah. He was out of there.
he
He
was
miles
out of
away. It looked
there.
like it.
He blasted
Knocked
off
his
like Team
ass.
Rocket.
Yeah, no, that's what you know. It's so funny you say that because that's what I was thinking when I first saw it.
Super HEH demon.
Oh God.
Just comes through. And Inosuke, it's really the kind of test of Inosuke's resolve, right? Like someone
Mhm.
who's just, yo, I fight forward. Like he doesn't move backwards at all. He fights
Yeah.
forward, no matter
Yeah. He
what.
doesn't care the strength of the opponent, whatever, how big they are, doesn't matter.
And he actually, I mean, he makes a little bit of progress. Like he gets a sword, he manages to
He
dent
was
one of
so
their arms.
happy. He was so happy to dig his sword into dude's arm.
Yeah, and cuts off his arm, and he's like, "Yo," because now that demon is on the run. But you learn that demon was on the run only so he could molt his skin, so he could just become some giant other cool demon.
Yeah.
Um, and he's doomed. Like he crushes Inosuke's head. Um, he really looks like he's about to murk him, and then Gyu shows up. Gyu from episode 1 or episode 2.
Yeah. My goat.
Kills him instantly.
Yeah,
What
my
are your
goat,
thoughts
man.
about you just now? Now we're a couple episodes in. What are your thoughts on him?
So he is my favorite character throughout season one, personally.
Mm,
Um, I think that the fact that he is a very, you know, he has his forgiveness is very low. He's very straight to the point, but once we learn more about his story, you know, it's understanding kind of where he comes from and why he is the way that he is. I
mm-hmm.
think the quiet and the mystery of him is what kind of turns me on to the character. Because and well, real quick, I mean, he's one of the more OP characters that we've seen in the entire series in general.
Yes.
Um, his abilities, how quick he is, he is straight to the point. But he also has a soft spot. It appears, at least. You know, I mean, he obviously didn't kill Nezuko, and you know that's enough. I mean, she's a demon, and he didn't kill her, so he has some type of logic, right? He has a logic way of thinking. But when he comes in and he's ready to do something, it's serious, bro. Like, I
I
just think
feel like
he's
there's a
so cool.
character. There's a character like him in every anime series. To be
Yeah,
honest with you,
yeah.
um, I can't name him off the top of my head now, but there's always the cool, mysterious OP. Uh, but heart of a
You want to see more personality from him, and when you do, you're
yeah,
happy about it. But then he's just going right back to being low.
you know, a little, there's a heart beneath it all, beneath the leather
Right.
jacket and the sunglasses and the cool exterior and all
The
this other
fit
stuff.
is hard. You
Of
know, I
course.
mean, I design wise, I think he's a beautiful character. The eyes are just kind of sum it up for me. The
Hmm.
eyes is what I think tells you who he is. You know, the deep blue. He is a water pillar. You look into him and you know it's like it's deep. Like you can tell. Like there's more to the character, but he's very very low key. But yeah, man, he is so OP, bro. Like he's so strong. And that's why when I first saw him, like in the first episode, you know, I was surprised he was even introduced. But obviously, as we go forward, we see why. But I love stuff like that, man, where they show you a character that you're gonna learn more about way later, and you'll actually
Hmm.
get to see how strong they are. But he was even impressed by Tanjiro at that point. So, but seeing him in action in these episodes, especially what we talk about here in a little while, man, that won me over, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
The final battle we get is Tanjiro and Nezuko versus Rui. who was revealed to be a lower 12 moon, and part of the 12 Kizuki. Um, it's just this battle to me is
It's perfect.
it's everything. It's
Yeah, it's
award
perfect.
winning. Most
Yeah.
importantly,
Yeah, it is award winning, and it's very perfect. I think that
just moments. To talk about the moments that you like enjoyed from this.
first of all, I think the commentary is just really good, man. It's always hard to, you know, listen while the actual fight is on, because at the end of the day, Rui, I mean, he was toying with Tanjiro for a while. I mean, he could have killed Tanjiro like a
Yeah,
few times.
yeah.
And Tanjiro really didn't have a chance. I mean, I really believe that he didn't. He just has such really good will
Mm-hmm.
that he was going to keep trying no matter what, because he knew what
Which
was
is
on the
all you need
line.
in anime. All you need is
Absolutely. You need
fighting
willpower. That's
spirit.
fighting spirit and willpower. Because I mean, yeah, it was a wrap for him a few times. This fight, to me, it was just 10 for 10, beautifully done. You know,
5 stars in the Tokyo Dome.
5 stars, double XL, 5 mics, whatever you want to give it. And like it was really great. Like I said, the visual aspects amazing. The commentary in between the action, really good. The plot twist, like,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it crazy? We'll talk about the move, right? The oh, man. First of all, that blood art, man.
Listen, the Blood Demon
Listen, man.
art. First
Listen.
let's run back to the
Oh my
beginning.
god, man.
We'll build up there. But Rui is essentially he's having problems with his own sister. It was pretty much an employee at this point. At this point he was like he's just
Hold
like,
on.
you didn't stock the shelves
Time
on
out.
time. Now I have to
No,
slice your face open.
this man is really the part where he's like, you know what? Your sister's better, man. Let me. She's mine
Yeah,
now.
I want your sister because she is cool.
My
Like,
sister's trash, bro. Like, she don't do shit right. You know?
right. Listen, he was coming. I mean, he was coming with all the threads and all the other stuff. He's about to cut. He's about to cut Tanjiro into pieces. Nezuko jumps in the way, and he's like, that's the first like kind of like compassionate thing. I don't even know if it's compassion as much as like admiration or just like kind of like greed, or maybe even a mixture of all three. The fact that he sees this bond and he's like, I want that.
I'll be honest,
Like,
bro.
but you
I
don't
think,
know if it comes from a human place. You just know that he wants it.
well, here's my thing. I think he was so amazed by that, and it changed his mind so much to like want her, was because
Mm-hmm.
he also knows that she's a demon. So
Right.
I think he's sitting there like, what the like, you know what I mean? Like, why is this?
You know how bond you're strong has to be between a
Bro,
human and a demon?
exactly. And I think that's what did it.
And a
Like, he's
demon
just
to
like,
save a human?
yes, bro. Exactly. So he's like, yo, I need that, nigga. Like,
I
my
need that.
sister will not do anything for me, right? And
Right.
here you are, you have a demon sister, and she's jumping in front of you to save you. I need that.
Right. He almost had to kill his mom. Just like, he's just like, no, I need this. I need this. So he kidnaps Nezuko a little bit, ties her up, which is a cool visual to me. She's like upside down.
It's
There's
really
like
hard to
mad
watch though when he
spider webs going through. I thought it was fucking fire.
he tightens the web, and it's like going through her thighs and her arms,
and all the blood is dripping down and all this other stuff like that.
The part where he looks like he's like, I think she fell asleep. That was like a really funny. I was like, yeah, she knocked out.
Tanjiro, he tries to cut one of the webs. He breaks his sword. I think he breaks his sword trying to cut his neck. I'm not sure which one or the other, but eventually he breaks his Nichiren sword, which he's like, fuck.
Yeah. They show the visual of the sword makers, and he's like, I'm so sorry.
He's like, this is about to be trash right now. So he's
already thinking about how much he's gonna get yelled at about his sword getting.
But he tries to fight. I mean, he still tries to fight with the sword. He's able to still do. I guess you can still do the breathing techniques whether your sword is a stub or not. But he's gaining momentum, and you see with the water breathing that he's gaining momentum, and he's able to actually cut through these threads that he wasn't able to cut through before. But he's like, I'm not even sure if I can still cut through his neck. Like, his neck is probably way stronger than these actual threads.
Yeah.
And they incorporate this backstory, right? Especially when it comes to his father, who we haven't seen into the series up till now. We've only been referenced it. And you go through, you see his father and his father with the dance of the fire god. And
Yeah.
they play the music on the background, the
Yeah.
music that I was singing at the beginning of this episode. And just like, you know, he's like a great visual of him like flipping the sword, doing the dance in this like circle. Um, and him passing down, and it's honestly, I mean, I'm thinking about the scene, and it's like, it's maybe why Muzan even decided to jump in that house. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he thought he was alive, but he definitely knew something was there in terms
Right.
of passing that down, because he didn't. This is the exact situation he didn't want happening at all.
Exactly.
So he remembers the dance of the fire god, and I don't even know if he implements it so much as he's he's possessed by it, or like it becomes part of him, because then his water dragon transfer, I mean, I don't even say transfer, changes into a fire dragon.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy crap on a crap.
Man, I thought it was. I'm was surprised considering like earlier on this in this series, you know, he's manipulating water. You know, like I was actually thrown off a little bit by Tanjiro's kind of like slick change to fire because of his water breathing stuff that's kind of been
Mm-hmm.
flowing on since then, which I think it's amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It threw me off completely. Like I was very surprised by it. I mean, it makes sense considering, you know, his
Mm-hmm.
father and the story behind it, but
Yeah, I guess one is
it's
like a hereditary thing, and one was something that he
right.
was just taught.
But in that, I mean, that's pretty amazing. I think it's good storytelling for Tanjiro's future as well and what he can
If
hold.
I was you, I'd be like, so you're not gonna use water?
Right, right.
See, I went through all this trouble of showing you my man's, plugging you up with the connect, and you just gonna use fire from now on?
Right.
Like,
It's like I kept you alive, man.
yeah. I mean, you're supposed to continue the water demon thing, but you know what? It is what it is. The fire, he comes. I love the fire scene just because of all the molten that comes out of it. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can see that it's clearly thousands of degrees hotter, because there's plenty of molten that's kind of like popping out of it.
Right, right.
Rui changes the color of his threads to just this bright, devilish
What's it
crimson
called?
red.
That's his. Is that his blood
That's his
art?
blood demon art.
Right, right. Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
That's right.
100% his blood demon art.
Yeah,
Because
when they turn that on, it's like I guess that's the most serious
yeah,
that you can get.
right, right. And he tries to cut him. He's dodging all of them. Blah blah blah. Nezuko, her blood demon art shows up, and I love that it's also fire. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look, bro. That scene, bro, where
Where she ignites her blood,
no, right before
and
that, bro, when their mom is like,
oh, their mom, right?
Nezuko, you got to help
You
your
need to save
brother. Like,
Tanjiro.
oh
He's
man,
gonna
that shit broke
die.
me, Meelz. That shit broke me, Meelz. I was sitting
She's
there,
like upside down. He's like, you
bro.
need to
One
save
tear
her.
just came on my, just one, nigga, just fell.
And then they did, and he's like,
And
oh shit.
something else I
And
noticed, she spoke, but I don't know if it was like a mental speaking because I don't think her mouth moved. But
I think she can speak.
I know, but she actually, I know, like she said like blood art, you know, but like it was like I don't think her mouth moved. Like she said it like mentally, like you know, in her head. But that was the first
Right.
time like I heard her voice, obviously, besides when she was a human and they show that clip. But
I think in the dub, she definitely says one thing in these episodes. Like, she definitely, like, in one of the prior episodes, I could be wrong. I feel like she definitely, because I felt like I was caught off by surprise, because I
yeah,
didn't think
I
she
don't
spoke at all.
remember. I remember this, but I don't remember before.
Um, but I think she definitely does say something. But either way, blood demon art, here we
Oh man.
come.
Oh
She
man.
ignites her blood, and the fire just comes in. The fire is the one that kind of blocks, does like the blocking, hits a screen, and Tanjiro is able to, move around it, hit the 3-pointer, slice his neck
That shit
off.
was cold. This is the part
And
everyone needs to see.
yes,
Everyone.
if everyone,
You might have seen some clips on Twitter, but if you have not seen this episode, you're slacking.
it's
Sure.
an award-winning episode at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
it's brilliant.
It's ridiculous.
It's brilliant.
So the head of Rui comes clean off, and Tanjiro is like, yo, my body's done for. Like, but he knew this going into this. Like, he knew that his body wouldn't be able to even last. Like, he was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
it's all or nothing." That's kind of where he went into it because he was still getting cut by the Blood Demon art, but he
Oh
was
yeah,
just like,
he
"Yo,
knew it
this
was
is all or
over.
nothing."
Yeah, he knew it was
Yeah,
over, bro. He's way over his head. Like I said, he had no chance, from the
right.
get. It was all situational.
Um, so he cuts his head off. We find out Rui cut his own head off to save
Okay,
himself.
so how did you feel
I didn't
about?
like. Nah, I
I
didn't
didn't
like
like.
it at all.
I'm really glad you said that because I didn't like it. I thought it was like a very
I would have
lazy.
rather him just like, "Yo, it didn't work all the way," and it's like, "Oh, you got to perfect it like later on." I would have rather that
Or, like if you just would have
than.
said you didn't cut it off because you have to cut it off clean at a certain point or what. Like I don't know.
Mhm.
I just thought it was very like lazy to just be like, I cut my own head off with my own webs, and
Right. It kind of takes that moment that whatever it was and kind of diminishes it because it's a
mhm.
very powerful moment. It's a lot of family, the bonds of family, everything that
I
sort of Rui is, looking for.
yeah.
It's all living through Tanjiro at that moment.
I do
Um,
think that they were trying to still separate the power between
I think yeah,
Tanjiro and him though
I
too.
think
You
they
know
didn't
what I
want to make
mean?
Tanjiro OP yet.
Yeah, bro, that's all I'm trying to get to. Like they just didn't want him to beat one of the strongest demons, in
And then
that
it's like,
fashion so
ooh,
early.
right. Um, no, I agree. I agree 100%. So Tanjiro looks like he's about to die because Rui is like does his little cage thing, which I thought that was gonna be sick. Like
Like the
if
web
that
cage,
comes,
like the
yeah,
yeah, that shit was
it
hard.
starts circling around him, and then
That
it's
shit was
like an
hard.
oval
It
around
would have
him.
it would have cut him into little squares, bro. I was thinking about the after way if they would have hit him, like what would have happened? Like he just would have been little Tanjiro squares.
Yeah. And then Gyu shows up and it was like, "Yo," just murks his entire soul just in seconds
Yeah,
with the little
yeah. Hey
the
man,
11th form. Tanjiro's
hey
like
man,
11th form.
11.
I ain't learned that.
Hey,
He's
bro, listen,
11th.
my nigga. Listen, bro. This was it for me right here. Like, I'm dedicated. This is when I was like, I'm dedicated to this nigga right now. Cause like, bro, like I fell in love with the character. Like, I was already so like I told you I was already so like turned on. You're gonna hear me use the term turned on, but like not
Sure.
but I was so turned on by the characters,
Maybe a
like
little bit, sure, yeah.
the mystery of the character already. So like just seeing how cool he was. I mean, I think it's like strange. They talk about how strong that that they are. It's
Mm-hmm.
well being chosen by Muzan in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to come in and I mean,
Just end it
he
immediately.
just ended him, man. He just cut the head. I think he was like
There's
he put his hands
very
up.
little resistance.
Yeah, Rue put his hands up to like do his move, and then like the next thing you know, his head was sliding off of his neck. Okay, like in the blink of an eye. I think they show the blink.
You're right. And it was a wrap. I
And it
mean, it
was
was a
over.
wrap after that.
And then
It's
Guru was like, "You did a good job holding him off for a little bit till I got here. Appreciate that."
yeah.
Chandra was like, "Fuck."
My legs. I can't feel my legs. He's rolling around like the Chappelle Show skit.
Yeah.
It's like it's like my legs.
Oh man, I would have been so mad, bro, if nigga came to save me, and the first thing he said was, "Good job holding him off till I got here."
I mean, at least he got one of that because Inosuke got tied up in a tree. I mean, we didn't
Well,
even
he was
finish talking
talking
about
shit
that.
though. He didn't want to hear
We
him
didn't even
talk.
finish
He
talking
was
about
like,
that.
I know he was. So Inosuke was ultimately, like, oh, this guy's really fast. I want to fight him. And Guru's like, bro,
He's already had the rope out. He was just like, nope.
yeah. He's like, I'm not even doing this with you. Like, come on, give me a break. Just ties him up. He's like, oh, he's really fast.
Leaves him on a tree and just leaves him there. Probably for his own best, probably for the better
Yeah,
of
bro,
him.
this man's esophagus got crushed.
Yeah, like so he just ties him up to the tree. So Gyu kills Rui. It's a wrap. We get the little backstory. We get the moment. It's just a beautiful, tender moment. Like, and it lasts like more than half the episode, but I think
Yeah,
it's worth it in terms of watching
it was
it,
sweet.
going through it. He's reunited with his family, even though they're all
Mhm.
going to hell apparently.
That sucks,
And
man.
Tanjiro has a moment. He manages, he puts a hand on Rui. He's just I think he understands
Fucking
the moment.
Tanjiro, man.
And then Gyu's like he just A-Town stomps on his on his.
Hey
He was
man,
like,
he did the right thing, man. He's like, nigga, calm your ass down, bro. This thing was evil as fuck.
yeah. He was like, he kills many people. We don't sympathize with demons over here. And he was like, I sympathize. Essentially, Tanjiro was like, I sympathize with people who didn't even choose this life and was put into this life and so much regret and all these other stuff like that. That is what I sympathize with. I'll never sympathize with the fact that they killed so many humans, and I'll always strike my sword to them. But I don't. I will sympathize with the fact that they once used to be humans, and the ones who die with regret overall rather than dying, um you know, or people who struggled internally and stuff like that. Like, you'll always sympathize with that. And he was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't. He stopped listening after like the first few words, probably of that. So
Because then Shinobi comes up and tries to kill Nezuko, like, over.
yeah.
And they go through their little fight.
Isn't that,
Shinobi.
wait, real quick.
Sure.
So if you notice, he says that
Shinobu,
to,
by the way. I keep saying Shinobi because
I
that's a
know, it's
great
okay.
Sega Genesis game.
Yeah, it is. So you notice that conversation it's wild because yes, he just got done saying we don't show sympathy for demons over here, right? Basically. And then Nezuko's about to get murked, and what does he do?
He stops her from killing her.
Exactly. That's
Immediately.
again why I love the character.
And do you also love the part where she admits that no one really likes him?
I do, because it makes
He's like, this is why no one likes you.
Wait. Didn't she go? Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, you didn't know? Are you still mad about me admitting that no one likes you? I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Off camera, Shinobu murks the older sister demon. I'm just gonna say off camera. I mean, there's a story to it. There's a demon thing.
She was talking shit, bro. She was
lying,
bro. But she was lying. But she was talking shit though.
I don't know what was to gain from that entire exchange.
It was like she had her like, she was like, so how many demons have you killed? And then like once she lied about how many she killed, she's like, we could be friends, but you gotta tell me how many demons have you killed?
She's insane.
And she's like, she told her a lie after that. She's like, well, I counted. She's like, I counted a lot more than that. So
really, I caught those people who were hanging up in the tree. About 13 or 14 of them.
Yeah, they were turned into liquid.
Yeah,
some of those were empty.
They were already dead when I got there. So
yeah.
Oh, you're a liar. Oh, all right. And then she tries to use her power against her, and then
she may be one of the more insane pillars. 100%.
Oh, she is sick. She's a sicko. Like I don't trust her. I don't trust her.
You don't trust her? You don't?
No, I don't trust her at all. She's a sicko. Shinobu murks the other thing off camera. She's insane. She's sadistic. There's more than meets the eye of this cool butterfly.
She says a lot of things with a smile, which I think makes
you can have all the butterfly hair clips in the world, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, sicko. So she tries to fight Gyu. Well, they're going back and forth. I'm sure they didn't want to fight on purpose, but
no, of course not.
Gyu's like, yo,
but who got Gyu did get the best of her though. Yes or no?
Right. I mean, he had her in the headlock.
He had her in that little headlock.
Had her in a little bit of a headlock, but she was right about to put the heel. She was about to buck 50 his face with whatever heel sword that she had. Before they were interrupted. We also get introduced, and this is all epilogue now. Right. We get introduced to Kanao. I guess Shinobu's protege, apprentice, who tries to kill Nezuko. She ends up knocking out Tanjiro. She tries to kill Nezuko. Little funny scene. I would have put the Benny Hill music under it. Yeah. Of Nezuko running, turns into a kid. And
oh, man. Wait.
Just dodging.
This is why these set of episodes are the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
We get baby Nezuko, and that was on Twitter for a good week. Like, it went. Like, people were talking about how cute that was. We know when we get the Funko Pops, right? They have to make it. I've been thinking about this since, like, I watched the series. Like, when the Pops come, like, if we don't get a baby Nezuko Funko Pop, I'm going to be pissed.
I agree.
Because, I mean, there is no... Look, man, like I said, bro. Hey, man, baby Nezuko ran so that baby Yoda could walk. I'm telling you, bro.
Eventually, they're all summoned to the thing. I mean, after Shinobu reminds you multiple more times that no one likes him, um,
That annoying ass crow came.
the crow came and it was like Tanjiro and Nezuko are to be put into custody and are to be summoned to the demon headquarters right now.
Hmm.
And they keep repeating it. The demon, the checker thing and the scar on his face. Not the demon, but Tanjiro with the checker thing and the scar on his face, and Nezuko, the demon, are to be, taken into custody and sent back to the demon HQ. I mean, at this point, everyone they find Inosuke. They were like, "Yo, this guy looks terrible." They find Zenitsu. He's bandaged up. He's put in the rest of the infirmary of these poison demons. I mean, or rather, these poison demon slayers. Um, and the final bit of the episode, I mean, we get taken back to the HQ. Tanjiro eventually wakes up, and next episode, we get to meet all of the pillars
Hmm.
of the Demon Corporation, Demon
Oh
Slayer
man.
Corporation. So that's going to be fun. But man, these episodes, I think, I mean, award winning, but worthy of the award, worthy of many other awards because just the story behind it, I think everything culminating towards it, the build up of Tanjiro, the story behind his family, the story
Hmm.
behind it, comparing that to to whatever Rue's story was, adding Muzan to it,
Yep.
Nezuko, the bonds of
Yep.
the other Hashiras or pillars or however you want to call them, all these other things, friendships. This is it. This is the
Well,
episode.
because they could have made this the whole the whole arc.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to stretch this piece out and make this just the whole, they could have, but they didn't. They put it into 6, 7 episodes, and still the rest of season one is still very, very good. Like, and I think it's brilliant, and that's why this show is anime of the year because they could have easily been lazy, made this story the whole thing, and we probably would have still enjoyed it. But instead, there's so much more depth to this thing, and we're not even done yet. So the stuff that still goes on, those last few episodes are still very, very good and important going forward.
They're 100% important, albeit I'll agree. It is much of a cool down from these set of episodes
Yes,
because a lot of
which
things happen.
deserved, right? I mean,
Right, because a
yeah.
lot of things happen concurrently after one another. Like we
Mhm.
just finished the last episode we talked about. We just finished talking about him battling two different demons. Um, and now this one is like 6 different demons, like all with various powers, all with various things. So it's admittedly a cooldown, but you get to learn a lot more about the core. You get to see the head boss in charge.
Mhm.
Um, you get to see all the Hashiros and how they
How
interact with
psychotic
one
they all
another.
are.
Yeah, you get to. There's more training if you love training. And honestly, the next episode is the last set of episodes we're covering for the season before whatever movie that's supposed to come out is supposed to come out. And I think at the Anime Awards, they kind of hinted they didn't give a specific time, so I thought that was kind of whack. But
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be able to get rid of some
but
of
it's
those
this year.
customs.
They know it's this year. Yeah, they know it's this year, and they said it's coming to the big screen. So we just have to look out for that. Um, any final words about these set of episodes, man?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to finish talking about the rest of this series. Like you said, it is a cool down. Um, Visually, the best part about this series we just passed on right now, that fight with Rue, just really, really great. Yeah, man. I mean, this is it right here. Like, this is the most important piece to watch, and you will absolutely fall in love with this anime if you do so. But yeah, man, anime of the year, best boy. Real quick, best boy. My man Tanjiro won best boy award. He deserves that as well. Yeah, man. I think that going forward, it's special that they said it was going to come to the on screen, the big screen, because it's crazy how this show started was because of Dragon Ball. And when we stepped away from Dragon Ball, it was mainly after the Brawly stuff, and I feel like that movie is really going to expand the anime brand as a whole. And this movie's probably going to do fairly well in theaters because of what Brawly did, and I think that's important to connect because it connects this show as well and what we just got done doing. We went from Dragon Ball to expanding this into an anime as a whole, and we're talking about Demon Slayer, and now they have a movie coming. And it to me, it's, it was written. It was just supposed to happen this way, so it's important.
And thank you guys for listening to this episode. You can follow us at The Lookout RNC on Twitter. You can follow us at The Lookout RNC on Instagram. You can follow us at The Lookout RNC on YouTube. So you get clips of the show before that show actually comes out. And of course, there'll be original content as we move forward with the YouTube channel. You can also look forward to, follow us on RNC Radio Live, where the entire
Absolutely.
click is, where you can find more shows featuring myself and Jeff. Yeah, man. I mean, we've got more coming up. We got one more episode to cover from the season, and then we may do some fun stuff. Like, we may do some fun stuff afterwards. We're going to try our best to get some interviews. Hopefully we can get some voice actors, someone behind something, so we can talk about a little bit more. We can elongate the season. But yeah, man, we got one more episode talking about the series of episodes. So if you're trying to tune in, episodes 22 through the rest of it, I think it's 26. And I'm sure we'll talk about those set of episodes, and we'll talk about maybe predictions that we have for this upcoming. I mean, I don't even say predictions. If you read the manga, you know that
yeah, unfortunately.
But we can at least have a healthy discussion on what this movie means and all this other stuff moving forward.
Definitely.
So yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am Meelz. I'm here with the Platinum Shinoboy himself.
Hey.
And we will see you guys next week. Take care.